again. Put his finger on
In you, Beth.
I was such a chapter on.
You're waiting for that, weren't you?
Wait for it.
No, I won't wear it because I'll knock it off and it'll fall asleep.
Yeah, but I like it because the lights go on.
Want me to wear it?
Is it even working? I can't see. Oh, good. No better you can't see either. It doesn't work. It's broken. Here, number 7.
But you don't wear it either.
It's broke.
Come on, flower girl.
Not about 20, 35, about 45 years old. I'm just going to do all of it. Well, you already set the circle up. Hello, the guardians of what? Turn down or off. Thank you, baby. Hello, the guardians of the watchtowers of the east. Place of air, of winged creatures of inspiration. You can be. We ask that you be here to guard this ritual and to keep us safe. So may it be.
So might it be.
Hello, the guardians of the watchtowers of the south. Place of fire, passion, love, and the big silver sun. We ask your presence here to guard and to protect this circle and all who gather. So would it be.
So might it be.
Hail to the guardians of the watchtowers of the west, place of water and emotion, all the creatures of the sea. We ask your presence here to guard and to protect this circle and all who participate in this rite. So would it be.
So might it be.
Hail to the guardians of the watchtowers of the north, place of power, place of most danger. Those who dwell within the earth, we ask your presence here to guard and to protect this circle and those of us who gather in this rite. So would it be.
So might it be.
I just don't wait for you to tell me what to do.
First time in 30 years.
35.
This holiday is one of the lesser of the Celtic holidays. It is a harvest festival. And so because it is a harvest festival, today I invoke this godmother, the foster mother of Lugh, who gave us plowed fields so that we grow grain and food and we would not starve. She gave her life for it. She plowed the fields until she died of exhaustion. And her name was Taltu. And we honor her today. So, Mother of grain and corn, we ask your presence here to guard, to protect, to guide, and to love us, and to accept our sacrifice to you. So would it be.
So might it be.
Hail to thee, Lugh of the long arm, God of many gifts, God of many talents, killer of his grandfather Balor on the field of Lugh. This festival to you, the celebration of the sun, of the light, and of your power, you who restored the Tuatha De Danann as the rulers of ancient era. Please bless all of our doings here, find our rites pleasing, and grant us all of thy blessings. So let it be.
So would it be. Hail to thee, fruits of the earth, we bless you, so that all here may participate and be blessed. Have one and pass. Have one and pass.
Sorry.
Do not be sorry. Hail to thee, fruit of the earth, vine. We thank you for your sacrifice, and as the chalice is to the goddess,
so is the blade to the god, and in their union,
they are forever joined.
all life springs forth.
So will it be.
So will it be.
Now you never hungry.
May you never thirst.
I'm gonna go sit next to me. I'll come in that way.
I'm sorry. Let's do that.
I'm glad that church. So we already talked a little bit about how too. She was the foster mother of Lugh. Helped to raise him and to mold him and to train him. But she was challenged. And so she took a plow and pulled it herself and made the fields so determined was she to make the land arable, to make it be able to be planted so that people would not starve, because people were starving because of war. And so she just kept going, and she just was not able to stop herself. She just gave everything. So she sacrificed everything for the people. And so we honor her. And her foster son, you get to tell the story because he likes to tell it.
In those days, the Tuatha De Danann were oppressed by the Fomorians, an ancient realm, an ancient race from the sea, ruled over by a giant named Balor. He had a single eye in the center of his forehead, and when he turned that eye upon his enemies, they were struck down as by lightning. And the Tuatha De Danann were oppressed. They had to give most of their gifts and their makings to the Fomorians. Most of their land was taken. Dagda, the good father, was forced to labor in their quarries, and all of the gods that served under King Nuada felt great sadness at the loss of their power. And then one day, as they were sitting down to a feast at the halls of Tara, on one of the few times that their masters allowed them to meet together, came a young man to the gatekeeper. And he said to the gatekeeper, "I wish to come in." He says, "Before you can come in, all here must have a talent. Do you have a talent?" He says, "Well, do you have a wheelwright?" "Yes, we have a very excellent wheelwright. He makes wonderful chariots." "Well, do you have a physician?" "Yes, our physician is so good he can heal almost any injury." "Well, do you have a harper?" "Yes, we have a wonderful harper." And so he went down the list: sorcerer, smith, metal worker. And finally he said, "Do you have one among you who can do all of these things?" And the gatekeeper was forced to admit, "We do not." So Lugh was admitted, and all wondered at the beauty of this young man, with hair like gold and a form like mortal sin. And he came into the hall, and he went to the chief Olam, and he asked for his harp. The man was so struck by the youth that he handed over his harp with no complaint. And there Lugh played such a melody and such a song of the Tuatha De Danann that all were amazed. And King Nuada, who had been planning for years on how that they might free themselves from the yoke of the Fomorians, said, "Could this young man be the answer to our problem?" So as he sat and amazed the Tuatha De Danann, King Nuada eventually rose from his throne, took up his symbol of kingship, and gave it to the young man, and said, "Who are you?" He says, "I am Lugh. I am the son of King and Ethna, and I come to you now to join your race." So Nuada gave up his throne to the young Lugh. And Lugh, as well as his other talents, was a great battle master. He introduced the game of fichel, which we would call chess, to the gods so that they could learn strategy and tactics. And finally, after much work in secret, the Tuatha De Danann rose up against the Fomorians on the field of Mahtag. And the Fomorians were put to rout. So much so that Balor himself had to come onto the battlefield so that he may open his baleful eye and destroy, once and for all, the revolution of the Tuatha De Danann. But as his servants began to raise the lid of his great eye, Lugh took up a magic sling stone called a turtam, and he slung it about his head once, twice, 3 times. And on that 3rd time, as the eye opened, the sling stone entered the eye of his grandfather, Balor, and struck completely through his skull, so that the eye that wreaked so much damage was suddenly turned away onto the Fomorians themselves, and they were blasted as if by lightning. And the few that survived fled back into the sea and bothered the Tuatha De Danann no more. And thus Lugh became the Lord of Light, the Lord of all that was good and worthy and well. And the Tuatha De Danann ruled over all of Era until the coming of the sons of Milesius. And there a treaty was made that Tuatha De Danann would go into the land of Era, under the hills, and that the land itself would go to the sons of Milesius, who were also of the same blood of the Tuatha De Danann. And thus came our current state, where the Tuatha De Danann live in the fairy lands beneath the earth, and the sons of men of the Milesius rule above.
Hallelujah.
Lugh was God that was completely unfamiliar with a man raising him. He knew no men. He was raised in isolation by his foster mother.
To protect him.
To protect him. Because he was of Baal's, of his line. If they found out that he would be there, that he was alive, he would have been killed immediately. He was raised by women. 2 women. One that gave her life for everyone around, and another that gave him such martial instruction, harsh instruction. But she taught him how to wage war and when to wage war
And how to win.
and how to win. That strategy game is Anton.
Of all the figures in Roman Gaul, in what we now call Belgium, in Britain, in Ireland, Lugh and the figures of Lugh are those that are most populous. Lugh, as I said, had so many arts and talents. There were towns named after him. The modern city of Lyon was raised as a sanctuary of Lugh. There were springs of Lugh. There were hospitals to Lugh. To the Romans, he was synonymous with Mercury, the god of many talents. Even to this day, although Lughsnacht is one of the 4 great holidays of the Celtic people, and is still, to this day, being celebrated, not just in Ireland, but in England, in France, in Spain, among all of the Celtica left in Europe. He is the great and powerful. He is the all-father, so to speak. And while there are many gods, his name and reputation has fallen away, so that we only know them through altars. The stories of Lugh are endless and forever.
Whenever you tell the story about the gatekeeper, I always see the gatekeeper in the Wizard of Oz.
When you talk about the eye of the eye of Sauron.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, forever ago, there were some little young children in Circle, and Pat told the story about, and his eye used that in that story, and his eye was knocked out of his head, and it rolled over, and it pointed toward his own people, and the little boys were like, "That's so cool." And of course it was, because it was mayhem. So, anyway, talk about shields for just a minute as we're talking about battle. And so a lot of us have had information, dreams, whatever, about shield work. So for the most part, when you first learn to do shield, you first in your Witch 101, and you learn how to put up your shields, and you don't change them very much. You just kind of keep that shield because it kind of worked. It was okay.
You might layer a little bit.
You might layer a little bit more, but maybe it was mirrors, and maybe it was like turning the bad stuff into good stuff, whatever you first try, it's kind of how we start, right? But I've had dreams, Weaver's had information, I've seen people on like TikTok and everywhere talking about, we need to change our shields. And when you were in hospital, that was something that really solidified it for me, that you got good shields, but they weren't good enough. Because if there is energy coming against us, they're going to study your shields. Found out a long time ago. They're going to study your shields so that they can get through your shields. And so the information that we have been downloading is you need to change your shields up. So whatever you've been doing, whatever colors you've been using, I've got specific colors in mine, not anymore. Whether it's because you put mirrors on, whatever you've been doing for the last 412 years, you need to change it. You need to make it different so that it's not recognizable and it's not penetratable. Penetratable, is that a word?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of us have realized that there's been some frequency changes.
I was going to say,
The animals are reacting.
Our
The
town,
Everything
human
is.
resonance is
The earth is
like
reacting.
8 point.
most people see and comprehend in the 3D. What most people, kind of that born for this era type of thing, it's true. It's not because we're supposed to be warriors, it's because we're supposed to lead those that are here into the next. And so the information that I and several others have been getting is that those frequencies that we vibrated at before, they know those.
No longer viable.
They're no longer viable. Those are shield frequencies and vibrations that you can no longer stay at. We have ascended. And right now there are some that say that we are no longer in 3D, that we're in 4D. That's the reason why so many people are seeing shadows and seeing their ancestors and seeing all that, because the 4D is where spirits, ghosts, those kind of things, that just beyond the veil stuff. Everybody's been saying, oh, the veil's thin, the veil's thin, the veil's gone.
Yeah.
The veil's gone. That time period, where we would flux in the wheel of the year between times of when the veil was thin.
It used to be at equinox, between equinox and Samhain, and then it got
Beltane was iffy
Yeah,
too.
it was like
Beltane
that.
and Samhain, those were the thinnest. Those were when you had to watch. We've ascended. And until we've finished ascending, which from the ones that I've spoken to and the dreams that I've heard from Tish and from others, this is a transition into the 5D. And once we make it to that, it becomes a bit more stable. We, as a people, as pagans, that are reconnecting back to those times, having dreams, dream journeys, medicine journeys, where we are seeing what we think is in the past is not just past, it's future. Time is not a line, it's a spiral. Just saying.
By the way, this has nothing to do with the incense, it happens all the time.
Okay,
I didn't figure it would this late day.
but
I wasn't thinking anything about the incense. I was thinking about the conversation of change of frequency and then
Definitely a change of frequency, right?
so,
You people are always thoughtful.
probably. So, each one of us, what we have become familiar with and become comfortable with is no longer going to suffice.
It's time to stop being comfortable.
It's because not only are we the generation that's supposed to help along the next, the people that were born in this time to deal with this time, to create the bridge to the next. Okay, yes, we have those skills, but we can't be comfortable in So changing frequencies in our shields. Now my shields are always moving. They are always changing. Every breath, I've connected it to my breath. So each time I breathe in, each time I breathe out, they change.
Yeah, mine are shifting too, which is a good idea. Make it move.
I use sound.
Okay.
I use mantra. I
Whatever
use
works.
chant, I use-
But I found that when I was on the operating table, my shields were gone.
Yes, they were.
And so something that was indeed bad became much worse because I had something going against me. And it had chosen a time. It was like it
Yeah, it was a window
took
open.
the step, and when it's found the window,
Yep.
it almost killed me. And then afterwards, you know, when you were talking about how do I ask for a patron or a patroness, a god or a goddess to work with, I was still having trouble. She had to help me with my shields. She was, because I was so sick, even afterwards.
I couldn't hide that.
So I asked, and I was very quickly found one, a patroness to work with. And she's the one that taught me to connect it to something where I don't have to think about my shields.
Make it automatic.
It's automatic. Connect it to some function of you that you don't have to think about. I have been blessed to work with other people who work with shields, and they add different crystals and things like that to those shields. Well, now those shields, those crystals and those stones are glitter inside the water that constantly ebbs and flows around me to protect me.
My physical space is grid. You can do a crystal grid. So if you have questions about how to do shields and whatever, ask before we get out here today.
Or you can find us on Facebook.
Or you can pass on Facebook, ask questions, whatever. But I feel like at this time it's imperative that we shield up people, okay? Because there's all kinds of stuff going on out there.
Yes, and we really do have to be here to
To make this transition happen.
make this
I think
transition.
some of the interesting point of this, of like the change in the magic, I've had the same statuette of Kali for years. She went in a river, she went in the water last week, because this form no longer works for the work that needs to be done. So, 100%, I've been feeling that for quite a few months.
Don't be surprised if your gods change, if your goddess
Yeah.
changes.
Yep.
That is shifting as well for who we need at this time. So
Mine have. The ones that I've worked with for most of my life have quieted. And it's like, this is next.
honey, Odin has never been quiet. Just saying.
Alicia says, seems like maybe we need to do a shielding class.
I believe we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because finding something that works for you, I'm a water witch. I douse for water. It's in my blood. It's from my birth, you know. So water is constantly with me. I thought I was just a water witch, and then I realized I was more elemental. And most of us become that way. We find one that's, you know,
It
we're really
really
strong
works.
in, but then as we grow, it comes to all of them. When you get to the point where nothing works, you fall back on what's always there. And so mine was, and then I was lucky enough, it's one I've known about for years and years and years, but she came forward and taught me how to breathe my shields into existence, and Ari did that for me. And Ari Okami, she's Japanese, one of the 8 million.
Yeah.
And it was, not only do we need to redo our shields, we need to stop being so focused on it being serious about it, that we need to laugh and sing and rejoice in this energy that is protecting us. And like you were talking about baneful work, money for,
Then don't.
then don't transmute it. I have friends that transmute it just into love. I have others.
Make it all be protected. That's what.
Yeah,
Me.
that they get showered in love if somebody sends something. I got it to where, because of my circumstances, anything sent against me is money in my account. That's how it gets transmuted. And those are electronics, because most of us work in electronic money now, and energy works that way. So,
I transmute my powers.
yes, it's very much you. An August Virgo is very much.
No, we're just mean.
No.
We're just mean. That's all. That's all there is to it.
I don't know nothing about power. I'm not a Scorpio stallion.
No, no joke. So this is a. I'm sorry.
No, no.
You done?
No,
Okay.
I am.
So this is the first harvest ritual.
Yes.
We're going to do a little meditation. So you're going to close your little eyes. And you're going to get real comfortable. And you're going to settle back. You can take your shoes off. And you're going to settle back. And you're going to take deep breaths into your nose. And exhale through your mouth. When you keep doing that, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And when you breathe in, you are pulling in peace, joy, love, protection, all the good things. And as you exhale, you are releasing that which no longer serves you. Hatred, anger, agitation, aggravation. Feeling small. So you keep breathing. And I want you to think about what you have planted in this year since Imbolc. And if you have not been consciously aware of planting, I want you to think about it now. Because you have 2 more harvest celebrations where you may reap what you have sown. Take a moment and allow yourself to see realistically and without worry about ego, what do you need? What do you need to bring to you now, in this cycle, in this time of growth, in this time of plenty? What do you lack that you need? Understand that the gods will provide it. First, you must ask. They will grant you anything. You have to be smart enough to say, please, may I have this thing? Do not worry about getting too much, asking for too much, having an ego. You deserve everything that you want, that you desire, and even the things you have not dreamt of yet. The gods are there for you, to give you what you want, what you need, and what you deserve. So think about, what is it that you lack? Ask for that thing. Plant those seeds now with the gods. And when you leave this place and you go out into the world, beyond this circle that we have set, you will take this energy with you and you will plant it in the real world, in the hard world, in the earth, and in what you do and how you do it, so that you may get what you wish. What is your heart's desire? What is your largest need? The thing that will help you go forward. The thing that will help you be the person you desire to be. The thing that will help you be a greater emissary of the gods. The thing that will help you do their work, because we are all called to do their work. And their work is to make the world in which we live a better place. The afterlife will take care of itself. It is not necessary for us to worry about. It is the here and now that we must plow, that we must plant, and that we must harvest. because the work of the gods is our work. It is the work of the people. How do we do it? What do we need? You know in your heart of hearts what you must need, what you most need, what you desire, and what you just want. That will make you happy. That will make you complete, that will fulfill you. These are the things that you ask for now. Do not be afraid to ask. The gods stand there with open hands to give you what you need. So you ask. You entreat. Please give me, please grant me, please help me to find a way to make this happen. And your mantra is, I accept all abundance from the gods. Say it. I accept all abundance from the gods. Say it like you mean it. I accept all abundance from the gods. I accept all abundance from the gods. And so it is. And so would it be. Remember, when you leave this place, if they walk with you, all you need to do is invite them. In this moment, we thank you. We're thankful. For the bounty, we're thankful for these people that sit here, the ones that did not make it today, that would like to be here. Thank you all.
We thank thee, Lugh, long arm, radar protect, for thy blessings and thy abundance, for all that thou hast done, for all that thou didst, and all that will do in the future. We give thee thanks. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Hail and farewell to thee, Taltu. We thank you for the blessings and the abundance of the harvest, and we thank you for your sacrifice. Go if you must, but please stay if you will, to guide us and to guard us, and to keep us safe in these troubling times. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Hail and farewell to the guardians and watchtowers of the north. We thank you for your presence here. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Hail and farewell to the guardians and watchtowers of the west. We thank you for your presence here. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Hail and farewell to the guardians and watchtowers of the south. We thank you for your presence here. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Hail and farewell to the guardians and watchtowers of the east. We thank you for your presence here. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Circle is open and not unbroken. Merry meet and merry part
and merry meet again.
Thank you for your presence here.
And if there be anything here that cometh not in the name of the power of light, then in the name of the powers of light, let it be gone. And if there be anything here that cometh not in the name of the powers of light, then in the name of the powers of light, let it be gone. And if there be anything here that cometh not in the name of the powers of light, then in the name of the powers of light, let it be gone.